Hey, it says I'm live. All right. Well, good deal. Welcome to the show here. If you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip ahead about 17 minutes until we get started on the main radio side of things. Just getting on, making sure that the audio is okay, and and we got all that kind of going for us here. So there we go. So that's it. My way to Union Center today. We got all kinds of sales going on here. Big sale this weekend. Big sales. All right, what else is going on in your world here, folks? Here, Brian Warner. Good morning, sir. How's life in your neck of the woods today? Morning, Josh. What's that noise? That's what happens when I bring too long of a mic cord. You get some buzz in it when it's coiled up at your feet. Let's see. What the hell else is going on in your world, everybody? Let's see. Make sure this is ready to go. That's ready to go. Oh, Mr. Wayne, good morning. And a lot of people messaged me about the Ranch America program, so they were evidently a lot of folks were watching it last night here. Jim, good morning. Dave, Minnesota Dave, good morning, sir. Mr. Levi Nelson, good to have you this morning with your gate getter and your net wrap extraordinaire next to you. I'm waiting for a calm day one of these days so I can burn my net wrap pile. Did you know that in Canada, they take the net wrap they actually recycle the net wrap in Canada. They have giant like square balers. They throw it in and they actually sell it back to some company that gets it here. Yeah. Todd Mitchell, I predict after the show you'll be coming out of the closet. You are correct. Actual closet. It's the only place I get like my own little studio when I'm on the road, man. I told Dixie we need to put a banner up behind me, so she put a blanket. That's as close as I got to professional right here. Morning, Karen. Good morning. Good stuff. Good to see you on KOLY. There. Okay. Mr. Gene Cox. Good morning, Mr. Mayor. Let's see. All right. Why is there so many things going on here? Okay. I'm hoping everything works together. So I got a different phone. I don't know. I think this is the iPhone like 16 or something like that. But it only feeds one way. So if I plug it into my mixer board, I can hear what's going on, but they can't hear me for some reason. So I might need to do a different. I don't know if you have that issue. So I'm doing everything on a different format here today. So that's the scoop on that. My last weekend away before calving season kicks off. Well, I got a ways for calving season, but bull sale season starts today. All right. Well, let's see what kind of legislative updates we got. Let's see who sent me that one. Okay, got that one. Good enough. What else is going on there, YouTube land? Let's see. I got Wayne's big mule deer event in Mandan is February 8th, I believe. So I got that going on. I have another bull sale. They're stacked up this year. There's and people have been moving their sales earlier this year for some reason. Not sure what's going on. Get the prices while the prices are good. Did you see the Murnaugh Kerford sale? Oh my gosh. On their bred heifers, they average $8,800 on their bred heifers, registered bred heifers, which I think that's pretty good. I think on all their bulls, it was like a ten to $11,000 average somewhere in there, depending on the age of the bull. Some higher, some yeah. I don't think they had any averages go under 10. So I think everything to 12,000 on the 2 year olds, and it was crazy. It was good. Morning, Dan Brown. Good morning. Good morning to you. And we did a bang up job in Belfield here at the Sportsman's Club event. It was their highest earnings that they've had, so that was good. What else? See how the bull sales act today. I got someone bidding for me on one sale, and I'm going to be at a different one, and it'll be good. See how much money I can spend today. They say that bull sales are going 30 to 40% higher for the ones that have had them so far. Interesting. All right, so that's this. Those levels should be set. Karen, did you get any numbers in Mobridge or Gene, if you're listening? Did you guys get any numbers on what the ice fishing tournament brought in for the for the town and for the area? And why the higher prices on bull sales? Well, you see, they claim, and when I say they, most producers claim that the average or the lowest price on a bull should be, what is it, like such a percent of what you were selling steers for. So since steers are selling higher, the baseline of the bulls are going to be higher, and I that's what they're telling me. But you talk to some people, they're like, this prices are these cattle markets are going to hold on for at least 2 more years. Then you talk to another person who said, it's not going to last by the end of the year. So you're seeing a lot of folks right now, they're buying LRP on unborn calves right now, and which is probably a good idea since you can't get insurance to cover much anymore. The LRP is probably the only thing that you can really do. So I will not see the sales tax numbers for a month or two as they get reported. Okay, sounds good. I've heard 3 steers to the price of a bull. 3 steers. So if a steer is bringing 2 grand, you're looking at an average of 6 grand ish, or even that for bulls. Yeah, I agree with that, Levi, too. But lots of people there. Morning, Waylon. Morning, morning. Welcome to the craziness here. But yeah, it's definitely higher. I'm very curious to see like how Ellingsons and Choffs go. You know, the big boys, and see how that whole thing unwraps. I know today's going to be a good example of a small sale. 30 some bulls today, no internet bidding, and you got to be there live in order to bid. So I'm like not even phone bids, okay? Because where this ranch is held, it is middle of Union Center area in the bottom of a slough, and there's not much service out there. Kind of double-edged sword. Great for sellers, but tough for anyone getting started or building their herds. Yeah, well, that's true. Or maintaining their herds too. Yeah, prices on cattle were better this year when selling them, but the fuel prices were higher. Insurance rates went got everything got higher, and so the margins weren't really much different than the previous years. So it is interesting here. Morning, Master John and Gene Cox. You've never bought a bull? It's because you probably cover enough bull at some of your city council meetings. All right, let's see if this works. See if I can get James on here. You guys are part of the old trying this out. I got audio.
Hello.
James Martin, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing great. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning. I appreciate you working through the messenger phone call system for me here. That works when I'm on the road here a little bit easier for me.
Yeah, I'm glad it's working.
All right, we're live on YouTube right now on my YouTube channel, Jim. So just so you know, what you can will be used against you in a court of law.
Hey, I need all the help I can get.
I've been talking on my YouTube channel about bull sales here, and Jay Berg says even the AI stud companies have jacked up the prices of semen like really high. So everybody's anticipating better prices, good prices to stay for a little while anyway.
That's good.
Yeah.
I like to see positive attitudes.
Well, as long as we can get some of the other prices down, the feed and the fuel and repairs on tractors. Holy cow! Our local John Deere dealers, I think it's like $210 an hour for labor right now. I think they're going up. They're building a new shop, so they jumped up the prices a little bit. It's crazy.
Well, it is, and it's every aspect of whether it be the insurances,
Yeah.
all costs. They're just crazy.
Yeah, my insurance went up, and that's just what do you do? Insurance is like a double-edged sword. You're required to have it, and you pretty much have to pay what they tell you.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it's frustrating.
yeah. And then if you use it, then they jack up your rates or they cancel you.
Yeah,
So
and then there's always a fight to get what you really need out of
yeah,
it.
exactly. All right. Stations, I forgot to do a time check for you. Sorry about that. Let's do 7:02:15, 7:02:15, 8:02:15 on Mark. So there's their time delay for the stations. We got about 3 minutes here, Jim, before we start the program. There's going to be a break at about 15 after the hour for 5 minutes. And then we'll come back and do another 9 minutes before we let you go here for the rest of your Saturday. Does that sound all right?
It sure does.
Let's see. You been keeping up on any of the legislative bills, Jim?
A little bit, mostly on the called the gaming ones.
Yeah.
Which affects us in significant ways.
That's something a lot of people don't realize. Like, was it last weekend? I think, or the weekend before, I helped out at the Belfield Sportsman's Club event, and for as small a town as Belfield is, they just do a bang up job, and all the money goes into youth programs. And it's a volunteer based. So you got people that, there's 500 members of the Sportsman's Club, but 5 people actually show up to volunteer to help out. And the gaming laws require you got to save every ticket from this, and then if it's over a certain amount, they got to sign off on a sheet of paper. And I'm sure you got to do the same thing. And the amount of people that you need to run that effectively is just crazy right now. It used to be so much easier to run these banquets and do the gaming stuff, and now they're making it a paper nightmare is what they're doing.
Oh, I'm familiar with that. I mean, yeah, a lot of that stuff you got to have 2 people sign off on it, and then you need a third independent person to audit it. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's frustrating, and then some of that. Well, I'm involved with the Elks also, and some of the regulations that we have to follow. Just and understand where someone's coming from. We've got some organizations that are they're making a lot of money on this, and
Yeah.
what's where's it being spent?
Wouldn't that be nice if that was a little bit more transparent on where the money is going and where it's coming from too sometimes. Uh,
Yeah.
that's and we'll talk a little. We'll dive into this as we go here too. No problem with that.
Okay.
Hey, we got here about a minute 15. So you're not going to be able to hear the intro music and all that. You're going to hear my voice. You'll know when to come in and when to talk. So
Sounds good.
regular conversation, have a little BS session about Pheasants Forever, and I got some South Dakota chapters here that I see there. Since we're covering both states, I'm going to let some people know about those dates too coming up.
Sure.
Spread the
We're all
wealth.
for the same thing.
Yep.
We're all for the habitat.
Yep. All right, stations, 30 seconds, 30 seconds on. All right, stations, 30 seconds, 30 seconds on. Mark.
Little tickle there.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors, heard all across the great Dakota Territory on stations like KCJB, Minot, K-Fire 550, the voice of the Northern Plains, and Bismarck, Mandan, the Western Edge on KLTC, looking at Lake Oahe, looking at KOLY in Mobridge, and the capital city of Pierre, South Dakota, and KGFX. Thank you for tuning in on another Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Good to have you along here today. A few things going on. It's going to be a little bit of legislative update in the second half of the hour, what's happening. We'll talk some interesting bills on the North Dakota border and to discuss, South Dakota doesn't have a lot of them this year. So we'll discuss the difference and why there's so many more in one state and not in the other. But until then, it is benefit time across all the areas and bull sale season too. Today's bull sale, Shreve Red Angus bull sale is going on today. That's a timed online sale. If you have questions or comments, the Shreve family would be more than happy to take your call today. 21 Angus sale is going on outside of New England this morning or this afternoon, and at the ranch at the Wolf Estate out there. And then the rounds sale is going on this afternoon in Union Center, South Dakota. And that's where I am on my way here to Union Center, South Dakota. So that's why I'm on my mobile unit today. But that doesn't stop talking about things that are going on around the Dakota Territory. My first guest here this morning is Jim Martin from the Bismarck area. Jim, good morning. How you been?
Good morning, Scott. I'm doing just fine.
Well, it's winter in the Dakota Territory. As I was driving from the ranch down to the Black Hills 2 days ago, it's amazing once you hit the Black Hills, the different weather pattern that just the Black Hills has. They got like 20 inches of snow, but it's like for 35, 40 degrees the next morning. It's crazy down here. So you go back home and we got snow on the ground in the Badlands of North Dakota, and the wind is blowing about 30 miles an hour almost every day. How's life in Bismarck right now?
Well, I can tell you this morning the wind's not blowing yet, but we got a little snow, not much, just enough to kind of keep the ground white.
Well, I tell you what, we talk about you're with the Pheasants Forever. The Dakota chapter is having their banquet. I believe it's February 1st, right?
That's correct. A week from today
Where's that being held at?
at the Bismarck Hotel and Conference Center.
Okay, good. And that's a great facility down there because it's such a nice big room that you can use, and they do a great job. They did a few updates to that facility, and they host a lot of benefits. And the Pheasants Forever. Tell us a little bit about what Pheasants Forever does, and kind of the whole goal behind why you get together and raise money.
Well, Pheasants Forever, our primary purpose is to establish habitat, good habitat for wildlife. birds as well as other wildlife. Um, and we do this through a number of different programs. We partner with landowners in tree plantings, grassland seeding, and food plots. We also help make help them. We'll make some bales, large bales available for winter feed for some areas, and uh, we also work with some. I guess another part of our drive is youth activities and programs. We have a initiative called No Child Left Indoors, and it's we do this through help supporting some uh, youth activities, shooting, pollinator planting. We do it both financially as well as help out with mentoring. It's some great programs. We have some good partners, and they're fun to work with. Last year, we participated in planting over 700, no, 7,600 trees, 50 acres of grassland, and over 450 acres of food plots.
Now, is this the food like food plots? I think I've heard that you have some food plot seed available through Pheasants Forever. And is that still a program that you guys do?
That's correct.
Okay.
We make seed available to our partners. We have a form online, habitat request form, so you can go online and request some seed. We have corn, sorghum, and we also have some other a mix seed available.
So, how much can a person do? And when you're talking about seed, how much can you get from the Pheasants Forever, and what's considered a big food plot to small food plot? What sizes are we talking?
Well, anything it kind of depends on what a landowner has, but we've
Right.
had some 1 acre up to 15 acres. Uh, the key with some of that is where they put those food plots. They got to have some roosting ground close.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, as far as how much they get, basically we put in a request for seed already for the next year, and depending on how much we get, as well as then we'll take how many requests we get for say for a bag of corn seed. Um, Once we get all the requests in, then we go through and figure out how much we can give each individual based on what they ask. Some that ask for 1 or 2 bags, yeah, they probably get those. Some ask for 10 bags, yeah, they may not get it all.
Yeah.
Just depends on how much we've got.
And how's that program been going? Do you sell out, or I shouldn't say sell out, but do you run out of seed each and every year?
Um, our corn been going pretty good.
Okay.
Last year we were a little short on availability of corn, um, but we come pretty close to giving away everything we got. Most years we do.
So when it comes to when you discussed it, you said we're into the wildlife habitat, helping build better habitat. What is good habitat for pheasant in your mind? What are you driving down through the Dakota, and you're like, now that should be holding pheasant right in there. What's a good habitat?
Well, tree planting is a favorite of ours, but it's not a single row of trees. You got to have 3+ rows in order to make it more habitable, as well as safer for the birds to keep away from the predators.
Right.
Uh, and as far another part of the key, I mean, I tell you what, CRP program was just a wonderful um, program that helped the wildlife because it gives them that roosting area and nesting area where the predators just can't find them in there. Um, and so other things, I mean, again, work with whatever the landscape has. Somebody's
Exactly.
got some slough type areas where cattails, those things are, very vital for our birds surviving a big snowy winter.
It's interesting. Where I live in the Badlands, you don't see pheasant, and we got a lot of grouse habitat. But I had one rooster last year during calving season that lived in the corral with my cows when it was picking some stuff out of the corral, of course. And so far, right now, he's brought in 3 hens with him. I got one rooster and 3 hens, and they live in my haystack. So even haystacks are you could call habitat here in the Badlands because they're living right in there. They're loving that life, man. So it's interesting.
Yeah,
Pheasants can adapt to a lot of different environments.
you're right. I mean, pheasants are they can survive our winters better than a lot of people think. But
Yeah.
as long as they've got access to the food,
Yep.
and then we don't have really long cold snaps. And ranches are, they have a lot of the habitat that pheasants really like, both the food as well as cover.
You bet. Well, Jim, we're up against our first break. Stay with us here. We're going to come back and talk more about the Pheasants Forever. Talk about your banquet, too, that's coming up around the corner. We'll be back right after these messages.
Breeding Red Angus since 1988. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production sale will be a timed online sale this year from January 20th through the 25th. Selling 35 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 first cycle bred registered heifers, and 80 top quality commercial open replacement heifers. For a catalog, video, and pictures, go to SchrieferRedAngus.com. Excellent maternal traits, quiet and easygoing dispositions. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production timed online only sale on DV Auction from January 20th through the 25th. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of sales coming up on January 23rd, land sales in Kidder County, Grand Forks County, and on the 24th, Dunn and Mercer counties, Burleigh County, and also Kidder County. And sales coming up at the end of the month in Pembina, Marshall, Divide, Clay, and Morton counties, as well as Stutzman, Kidder, and Mercer. And don't forget about Wednesday, February 12th, is the timed online Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com. The 31st annual Top Cut Bull Sale is Saturday, January 25th at the 21 Angus Ranch, New England, North Dakota, 1 p.m. sale time. Selling 170 Top Cut bulls featuring proven sires like Baldridge Flagstone, Ellingson Badlands, Musgrave Stunner, and Baldridge Pappy. Born and raised right at the ranch to give you well-mannered, extremely uniform, and deep-bodied genetics. No hoof trimming, no creep feed, and free wintering. For a catalog or to view sale videos, go to 21angus.com. Join the Wolf family for their 31st annual 21 Angus Ranch Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 25th at the ranch east of New England. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 25th at 1 o'clock. The bulls look really good and are ready to go to work. From the rough Badlands country and river breaks to rolling hills with big pastures, they are ready to travel. Come take a look at an honest set of bulls out of an honest set of hardworking cows. Give us a call at 605-347-0890. Hope to see you sale day, January 25th at 1 o'clock.
Hey everyone, it's Kaylee at Soretti Charlet Ranch. Our 42nd annual bull sale is January 24th at the ranch west of Bowman. We are offering 55 performance-tested yearling Charlet bulls, and new this year, 8 virgin age-advantaged Charlet bulls. As always, free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. You can follow us at Facebook and DB Auction. Soretti Charlet, January 24th. If you haven't tried a Soretti Charlet bull, ask a cattleman that has. He's the one with the big smile on sale day.
Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance, offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger. The 31st annual Top Cut Bull Sale is Saturday, January 25th at the 21 Angus Ranch, New England, North Dakota, 1 p.m. sale time. Selling 170 Top Cut bulls featuring proven sires like Baldridge Flagstone, Ellingson Badlands, Musgrave Stunner, and Baldridge Pappy. Born and raised right at the ranch to give you well-mannered, extremely uniform, and deep-bodied genetics. No hoof trimming, no creep feed, and free wintering. For a catalog or to view sale videos, go to 21angus.com. Join the Wolf family for their 31st annual 21 Angus Ranch Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 25th at the ranch east of New England. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701-440-1945. That's 701-440-1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition on a beautiful Saturday morning all across the Dakota Territory. Gotta love where we live in our little neck of the woods. We have seasons here. Jim Martin is with the Pheasants Forever, the Dakota chapter of Pheasants Forever out of Bismarck. He's my guest here. Jim, welcome back to the program. You know, a lot of people look at, have you seen the cold snap that Florida got snow? Did you see that?
Yeah.
And they don't know how to drive in it. They're scared, and you got Alabama's having water freeze ups. People in Texas are wondering why they didn't put their water line 6.5 feet down in the ground instead of 3 feet now. And we're sitting up here just smiling away and enjoying life.
Right. I'm waiting for winter to hit us.
So we were talking about habitat for pheasants. You know, you were right before I cut you off at the break. You were saying some of these old farmsteads, old ranches. You know, you get the old. I'd love going through old tree rows hunting pheasants. It seems they hold a lot of birds in there. Maybe it's it's an abandoned place or anything. These pheasant can really make habitat out of pretty much anything. And it's kind of fun. I enjoyed. I lived off a buddy of mine. I think we lived off of eating pheasant and Campbell's soup for almost 3 years in a row. And so you can find them in. What's the biggest habitat scare that Pheasants Forever sees right now?
Well, again, that TRP program was really a big bonus to our
And that
North
wa-
Dakota's
and
pheasant population.
that was kind of a happy accident because, like in the '80s when it came out, it was for taking highly erodible land out of production. But the happy ending of that one was, holy cow! Look what it did for the pheasant population, right? I mean, it was just a happy mistake there.
And absolutely, it wasn't just the pheasant, the deer population.
Yeah.
There's a lot of animals that benefit from that type of that cover.
So when
And
you
so more of that, yeah, more of that we can get around. And I understand, that program for good reasons has gotten smaller.
Well, it's hard. I mean, look what cash rent is anymore, and the farming tactics have changed to the point where you don't really see a whole lot of these fields up in the air blowing around anymore. With minimum till or no till, or they're leaving more residue on the ground, or so the cash rent. I mean, if you're going to come up with a CRP program, it's going to have to cost. It's going to be a substantial amount per acre that they're going to have to be offering here to be able to afford to take it out of production.
Well, that's for sure, especially if it is a relatively good farmland.
Exactly.
There's a lot of competition out there, as well as, like you say, there's expenses involved in everything, and if you got to have some way to cover those expenses,
Right.
that's where our Pheasants Forever banquet comes in. That's one of our biggest revenues to obtain money so that we can participate with these landowners in some of this habitat.
Yeah. There's a lot of programs out there that allow you to work with the landowners. How do they find information? If there's a landowner listening, they want to dig into it a little bit more. What's the easiest way?
Well, I'd say go to our website. That's DakotaPheasantsForever.org. We have information on there. There's links, and there's a link to the National Pheasants Forever website. And there is just a ton of information out there.
Yeah. And if they want to contact somebody local, I'm sure it's easy enough to find somebody on the local chapters that they can discuss and talk with and be able to get that information. Now, when it comes to the banquet itself, If nobody has ever been to a Pheasants Forever or any banquet for that matter, what can you tell them to encourage them to come in? Because I've helped out with so many over the years between emceeing and now auctioning a lot of them. That it's fun to see the differences of games. It's almost like everybody kind of comes up with something new each year. But if there's somebody that has never been to one, why should they come and join in on February 1st?
Well, our banquet, we have a number of different drawings, raffles. Um, we have a Mad Hatter one where we got 10 envelopes, and you can either get one through a raffle or live auction or silent auction. You get one of those, and one of those envelopes, the winner is going to get a safe with a mystery gun in it. We have a number of other youth program stuff where we give young kids from 8 to 17 a chance to win 4 shotguns, and that doesn't even cost them they don't have to buy a ticket to do that.
Yeah.
Not a raffle ticket. At least they got to buy a ticket to get in the door. And we have fun. Again, we serve a nice meal. The kids and adults come in. They can play as many raffles as they want. Do silent auctions. We got live auction items, probably 35 of each. Ultimately, we give away somewhere between 40 and 50 guns from every banquet.
Isn't it amazing that no matter what you do for a fundraiser, guns are what sells?
Yeah, it is. Again, we're primarily a hunting oriented type organization. Like you say, several of them are out there, and guns are definitely popular. And it's everybody. It's nice to say, geez, I won one.
So let me ask you this, Jim. Going out pheasant hunting, semi-auto shotgun, a pump shotgun, or over under or side by side, which one is your first pick?
Well, right now I usually carry a semi-auto.
Yeah.
The years past, I carried an over-under. I'd like to do a lot of walking, and those over-unders just get to be a little heavier. So I use a semi-auto.
So what overall, though, your pick, what would be the best shotgun out there out of those three? Which is the best format, hands down?
I guess it's really up to individuals.
I'm asking. I want your take on it, though.
The semi-auto.
Semi-auto, yeah.
Yep.
I thought for sure you'd say the over under because there's less parts to go wrong. It's so simple and easy.
Well, again, I did that for many years, but I say the gun gets heavy if you do a lot of walking, and so that's where I enjoy now the semi-auto. It's just a little lighter to carry.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I like them all. I have all three, but I agree with you on the semi-auto. For some reason, I'm a lot more accurate with my semi than I am with my over-under. I have no idea why. It just feels good when it pulls up. So, but anyway, back to the Pheasants Forever. We got banquets all across. If you'd like to know banquets in your area, South Dakota, you got a lot of them coming up too. Rapid City, Watertown is hosting one. Deadwood, South Dakota banquets coming up. Sioux Falls and Webster. That's all in the near future. If you want more information on that, you can find that on the South Dakota side too. And the North Dakota side, there's plenty of them going on. But this February 1st in the Bismarck Hotel is the place to be. Jim Martin is the man to talk to. And get your tickets. You can buy tickets online and at the door, Jim.
Yes, it's a limited seating. The last few years, we've had tickets available at the door, but can't guarantee it. So, yeah, get them early.
Get them early. Bring some money. Have a little fun. Bring your kids with. Bring your wife with. Right? I mean, you see more and more ladies getting involved in this too.
Oh, yeah. We have families showing up, with 2 kids.
Yeah. And it seems to me, I got a buddy that seems his little girl wins guns on every banquet she goes to. So put your money on the kids. It seems like they win the guns. That's the way to go.
Yeah, I always say it, rather be lucky than good.
Well, Jim, I appreciate taking your time off of a beautiful Saturday morning here and coming on the program, giving us some update and some feel on the habitat. And the biggest thing is there's plans and there's programs out there. Make sure you research them and talk to the people. And thank you very much for coming on the program, Jim.
It's been my pleasure, Scott. Thank you.
You bet. Have yourself a good day. Enjoy your banquet on February 1st. Jim Martin here from
We will
the.
do.
Thank you. You bet. Jim Martin from the Bismarck, the Dakota chapter of Pheasants Forever. Coming up in the second half of the program, talking legislative updates. Legislative updates both in North and South Dakota. South Dakota doesn't have a whole lot of things going on. There's one bill that's kind of interesting for me on there, but there's some uproar on the North Dakota side. And reason the South Dakota people, I want you to tune in and text me what you think on some of these bills here as well. Well, that's all coming up your way. We'll have that and more on Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition back after these.
Breeding Red Angus since 1988. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production sale will be a timed online sale this year from January 20th through the 25th. Selling 35 coming 2-year-old bulls, 5 per cycle bred registered heifers, and 80 top quality commercial open replacement heifers. For a catalog, video, and pictures, go to SchrieferRedAngus.com. Excellent maternal traits, quiet and easygoing dispositions. The Schriefer Red Angus annual production timed online only sale on DV Auction from January 20th through the 25th. Piper's Auction and Realty would like to invite you to their next round of sales coming up on January 23rd, land sales in Kidder County, Grand Forks County, and on the 24th, Dunn and Mercer counties, Burleigh County, and also Kidder County. And sales coming up at the end of the month in Pembina, Marshall, Divide, Clay, and Morton counties, as well as Stutzman, Kidder, and Mercer. And don't forget about Wednesday, February 12th, is the timed online Upper Midwest Equipment Auction. For more information and to bid with confidence, go to pipers.com. The 31st annual Top Cut Bull Sale is Saturday, January 25th at the 21 Angus Ranch, New England, North Dakota, 1 p.m. sale time. Selling 170 Top Cut bulls featuring proven sires like Baldridge Flagstone, Ellingson Badlands, Musgrave Stunner, and Baldridge Pappy. Born and raised right at the ranch to give you well-mannered, extremely uniform, and deep-bodied genetics. No hoof trimming, no creep feed, and free wintering. For a catalog or to view sale videos, go to 21angus.com. Join the Wolf family for their 31st annual 21 Angus Ranch Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 25th at the ranch east of New England. Bowman Livestock Marketing, serving the tri-state area for all of your livestock marketing needs. Eastern Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota. You can be sure of great care for your cattle and top price at sale time. Call Austin Snook at 307-290-2161. That's 307-290-2161 for more information or just to talk cattle markets. You can also find them on Facebook and go to their website, bowmanlivestockmarketing.com.
This is Todd with Rounds Angus Union Center. We invite you to join us at the ranch Saturday, January 25th at 1 o'clock. The bulls look really good and are ready to go to work. From the rough Badlands country and river breaks to rolling hills with big pastures, they are ready to travel. Come take a look at an honest set of bulls out of an honest set of hardworking cows. Give us a call at 605-347-0890. Hope to see you sale day, January 25th at 1 o'clock.
Hey everyone, it's Kaylee at Soretti Charlet Ranch. Our 42nd annual bull sale is January 24th at the ranch west of Bowman. We are offering 55 performance-tested yearling Charlet bulls, and new this year, 8 virgin age-advantaged Charlet bulls. As always, free delivery up to 300 miles, and we'll feed them free till April 1st. You can follow us at Facebook and DB Auction. Soretti Charlet, January 24th. If you haven't tried a Soretti Charlet bull, ask a cattleman that has. He's the one with the big smile on sale day.
Western Frontier Insurance, agents that understand you, your needs, and the community. Whether you're looking for coverage on your farm, ranch, home, or auto, you can trust that Western Frontier Insurance will find you a combination of price and coverage that works for you. No fancy jingles, no talking boxes or talking animals, just good neighbors helping to keep you covered with price in mind. Western Frontier Insurance, offices in Hazen, Washburn, Wilton, Bowman, and Hettinger. The 31st annual Top Cut Bull Sale is Saturday, January 25th at the 21 Angus Ranch, New England, North Dakota, 1 p.m. sale time. Selling 170 Top Cut bulls featuring proven sires like Baldridge Flagstone, Ellingson Badlands, Musgrave Stunner, and Baldridge Pappy. Born and raised right at the ranch to give you well-mannered, extremely uniform, and deep-bodied genetics. No hoof trimming, no creep feed, and free wintering. For a catalog or to view sale videos, go to 21angus.com. Join the Wolf family for their 31st annual 21 Angus Ranch Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 25th at the ranch east of New England. This portion of the program is brought to you by Freedom Repair. Whether it's a tractor, baler, your cutter, your combine, or air seeder, Freedom Repair comes to you and helps you get fixed up and back in the field. 19 plus years experience. Give Lucas Kelly a call at 701 440 1945. That's 701 440 1945. Freedom Repair, veteran owned and operated.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around. I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition continues. Thanks for tuning in on another Saturday. I want to say it's a beautiful Saturday, but my second half of the program guest is Riley Schrieffer from Schrieffer Red Angus Ranch. But you said the wind's been howling up in your area, so it's not maybe beautiful all across the Dakota Territory.
Yeah, good morning, Scott. No, it's been blowing pretty good ever since about midnight of last night, and I don't know. I think as the day goes on, it's going to get nicer, and it's nothing we're not used to, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, you just find yourself in a place out of the wind, feed the cows over the hill today, and keep them comfy.
You know, speaking of cows and bulls, your sale is today, and this is a new format for you. This year, you're going with online only, timed online only sale. And I've already put my bids in with you. So you're covering me today, but exciting new format for you. Why'd you go to that format? And tell us a little bit about your sale today, how people can get on and bid on your bulls.
Yeah, so everything is online only. It's timed online with a racehorse finish. So that means if somebody bids in the last 5 minutes, the sale gets extended for 5 minutes. So my suggestion is if you are a bidder, bid early up to your comfortable amount and then just watch the sale so that way it might not last forever. But we only got 35 bulls to go through. We only got 5 bred heifers, and then we got 70 open heifers in the sale. So it just came down to one of those things of having a live on-site auction, the costs associated with that versus the costs associated with this, it just made it a much more fiscal sense for us to move to this with the amount of animals that we sell. Now, that being said, if we increase drastically in numbers ever or something like that, we're not opposed to going back to a live on-site auction. But this is just what made sense in the time and season that we're in. And yeah, I guess so far it's been way less stress, which has been good on us and very good on the animals. So
Well, yeah.
yeah,
Well, you look at it too. I mean, if COVID has done one thing in the last 5 years, it has taught people how to use the internet. And
yes,
actually, it's a good thing. You know as well as I do that we are very blessed in North and South Dakota to have some of the best internet cooperatives companies in the nation, and
oh
it
yeah.
just makes it a lot easier. So, but yeah, but if people have issues or they have questions, they can still contact you or Mark to
Yes,
get on this.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep. So I had a guy call yesterday that needed help getting on DB, and so it's no issue. You give us a call, and we will be showcasing the animals again this afternoon from 1 to 4 Central Time, and we will have coffee and baked goods and a warm wood stove to stand next to. So we make it comfortable, and we make it in. The one thing that I've really enjoyed through this whole process is versus a live on-site sale is we get to spend so much more time with each individual person that shows up.
Yeah.
Instead of, hey, how are you? What can I help you with? When the majority of people come on sale day, for a live auction. Where this has been, you get to just visit with your customers and spend some more time with them and get a lot more personal touch, so to say.
Yeah.
So, and we've really enjoyed that part.
Absolutely. And why that's all about making those connections and especially in the bull sale side of things, because if that bull has an issue, you guys stand behind them and You got to have that connection with the producer. So, are you ready? Are you ready to get stir the pot? Are you ready?
Yeah, I guess. Let's do it.
So I've
I
been
don't know how much pot stirring I've been able to research this week, but I got a few of them, I think.
well.
So.
We're going to start in South Dakota.
Okay.
South Dakota only has 8 bills related to outdoors, versus 21 in North Dakota. So
Okay.
South Dakota is pretty easy. I mean, a lot of it's just cleaning some things up with some boat operators, and a lot of them dealing with some policy. But they have one of them that's going to affect where I'm at right now. They by the Mickelson Trail. They're going to the permit of operating a Class 1 electric bicycle on the Mickelson Trail, which electric bikes have been huge in the hunting industry lately
Oh yeah.
for getting point A to point B. I've never ridden one. Have you ever tried one of these things?
I have never tried one, but I know that I was doing a coyote contest a couple of years ago, and they found out that some guy was using one when it was just supposed to be, everybody's supposed to, but they didn't specifically say it. And
Yeah.
boy, did some guys get in a tizzy about that.
Really?
Oh yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And then the other one, these are both Senate bills, authorize a change in bullet diameter for use in taking certain animals. And I'm not sure what that diameter size is because it's a little cumbersome getting around and getting all the wording here to a lot of this. But that's something like North Dakota. I think you have to use a 22 caliber for big game animals at the minimum, right? You can't use a 17 HMR or
Yeah.
anything like that. So, but none of them here on the South Dakota side look like they're affecting anything with the landowner side of things. So let's dive into that. Let's go to the North Dakota side. Out of 21 different bills here, there are some that make complete sense. Then there's some that people are getting a little feisty about. And one of them is the pronghorn antelope gratis tags. Is it pronounced gratis or gratis? I have no idea. I was brought up
So
saying
yeah.
gratis.
So and I was brought up saying gratis.
Yeah.
So
Same thing.
Yep. And so I honestly don't know the correct pronunciation. I guess we could Google that, but yeah, no, that is going to be a contentious one. And like I've heard it, you've heard it, everybody's heard it. The argument from the general public of, oh, we'll never get another antelope tag ever in the state, and everything goes to the landowners. Well, I'll tell you firsthand, most of these landowners that are putting in for it are doing it so that an antelope doesn't get shot.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because there really isn't that many around. And yeah, of course, there's been some lucky people, but like 2 years ago, there was 2 people in our unit that weren't landowners that drew a tag, and I actually went out and I showed the young lady and her uncles that there was a couple bucks around. These are the ones that you can harvest. Like you have permission here, you could shoot that one there, and that was fun. I get a kick out of that, and stuff like that. But I do know a lot of people across the western side of the state that are putting in for gratis tags for antelope that are doing it so that for the preservation of the antelope.
Which is, I think that's a little scary because I see there are, and people always say, Scott, how do you know this? Well, there are anti hunting organizations and people in every state, it doesn't matter where you're from, that put in for tags purposely to try to get a tag so that one deer or that one pronghorn will not get shot. Now you're telling me landowners are doing this too.
Well, but landowners
Possibly.
are doing it because there's just not enough.
Right.
Like it's they would like to see that population grow so that tags become more abundant. Like
Right.
that's the difference in it. It's not landowners are doing it because they're anti-hunting. No, they're doing it because they know the population just isn't there for a general base of hunters to come hunt them yet.
So why isn't the Game and Fish just close the season up like they did a few years back?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. But, and I mean, they want to change that and they want to give away. So like, let's just say 52 units or 52 tags get doled out in our unit, or they did last year anyway. I know that number for fact. Now I don't know how many of those were harvested. But what I can tell you is that if half of those tags get doled out to the general public, I can guarantee you not very many of them will get filled because the landowners are going to be mad.
Yeah.
And it just seems to me that there's a conscious effort constantly to go against the landowners and the private property rights, but then complain about hunting access.
Yeah.
I'm a big hunter myself. I love hunting. But as I've gotten older and older and older, the amount of people that pull in the yard to have a general conversation with you to ask to hunt has diminished greatly because there is absolutely no relationships being built out there amongst the general populace. Now, when deer season rolls around, and pheasant season roll around, you see pickups driving everywhere. But does anybody stop to ask to hunt anymore? Just because it's posted doesn't mean you can't hunt, but you can come in and start to build a relationship, So
Absolutely.
we do have a couple good relationships with people on our place that we do allow to hunt quite often or whenever they ask. But that being said, I mean, this is just my constant message to the general public is get out there and get to know the landowner and build that relationship because it's not in your favor. The laws and the bills always being proposed aren't in your favor for getting hunting access. I'll just put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so I will get to these. Josh says there's a couple of units that had 52 tags available and only 3 went to the general public. So the numbers are way down all over. And he said, I agree. Game and Fish is really driving a wedge between hunters and landowners. And
Yeah.
so South Dakota, I forget, maybe Gene Cox, maybe you can remind me or some of my South Dakota listeners that are messaging me through my YouTube channel. So years and years ago, a lot of, I think it was like started in Harding County, or I know there's a lot of landowners that just got together and they said, nope, everything is shut down. There's no hunting anywhere, including their own families and themselves. Nobody. And the Game and Fish, and then they worked things out, and now they're a lot more landowner friendly, and they got that relationship put back together. Is something like this going to drive a wedge? If we're seeing people messaging me about driving a wedge between Game and Fish and landowners, or hunters and landowners, is that going to come down? I know there was talk on some of these private property bills years ago. They tried to start a lockout. Didn't go, and there were so many different organizations that nobody really got together on it to really make an effective move on it. But is it going to come down to the landowner saying, well, if you're going to take a gratis tag away from me, nobody's coming in. Nobody's
Yeah.
getting access. We're cutting it off. Done.
Yeah. I mean, I think, I don't know what bill that was. I can't remember what bill that was being proposed. And I want to say it was
Senate Bill 2155.
No. The previous year
Oh,
ones
the previous year. Yeah.
that drove
Okay.
the ND lockout,
Yeah.
the North Dakota lockout movement. And
Because
I can't remember exactly what that bill entitled and everything, but
it was all properties assumed posted is what we were trying to.
Yep. That's right. And the private property owners wanted it, but of course there was a lot of money being pumped in from outside interest groups.
Yeah.
To not have that happen. That being said, I think that wedge was drove there, and I think it was drove deep and hard. And there's a lot of people with the sentiment of that ND lockout still today because of that. Because we do have organizations and a state agency that doesn't support private property rights.
Yeah.
In my opinion. And the people that own private property are fed up with it. And every legislative session we have every 2 years, it just seems like it's always a battle against private property rights.
Yeah. Well, another one of them is Senate Bill 2168. It claims,
and that one sounds like it's going to die.
Yeah,
so there was a
recommended
pile
do
of
not
opposition.
pass. Yeah.
But just the silliness of that bill. Okay, right? So let's just put it into perspective.
Well,
2168.
Explain what it was.
Yeah, yep. So the silliness of the bill was they wanted to scratch here. Let me just pull it up here. They wanted to scratch that an individual, or they wanted to change it so that it says an individual may not hunt or pursue game within 440 yards of a building, occupied structure, or storage structure without the consent of the property owner. Well, okay, so what it's doing is it's scratching off any occupied building and just changing it to any building or occupied structure or storage structure. So that means how I read that is if you are hunting on your own land with your own gratis tag, and your neighbor has a standing old schoolhouse that hasn't had anything in it for 100 years right across the fence, you would have to be 440 yards away from that on your own property to hunt.
Yeah.
Now, or a grain bin. Nobody's occupying a grain bin, and how many old government bins are laying around out there? I mean, it just gives somebody the power to prosecute against you on your own for doing what you want on your own property, even because you could be across the fence line on your own property, and it's a huge infringement on private property rights. Well, I mean, just the silliness to even try to propose something like that in my mind is just petty. And so I'm glad that the opposition has been strong for that, and that common sense is prevailing with that one.
Yeah. Yeah, it came across as a do not pass 7-0 on that. And
Yeah.
so I want to talk about, I can't remember which one it is, but it is the people call it the baiting bill, but it's more of a hunting restriction bill.
Okay.
I'm trying to find that one here because there's been a lot of people that have showed up to the state capitol with have been instrumental in this
Yeah.
because what it is none of the game licensing fees. I'm still trying to look it up here. You uh, they can't use any of the game licensing fees for chronic waste disease research.
Yeah.
And I know that one. I'm still trying to find it here, but
Yeah,
there's so many
you
of them.
you could talk about CWD stuff for hours.
Yeah,
And I mean that is a whole nother rabbit hole, and I'm glad there's groups out there that are really being proactive about it.
yeah.
I know last week I went to the Capitol for some other stuff, and I just
Did you
I-
see all the
we
orange shirts in there? Did you see
yes,
them?
yeah,
Yeah,
we went out to eat afterwards, and an army of orange shirts came in, and we got to visit with those guys a lot about what they were there for, and that was good to hear what they were there for.
yeah.
And
It
so,
Yeah, so House Bill 1236, hunting and fishing license fees and application fees may be used only for department programs and administration unrelated to chronic waste disease. And then there's other ones on what you can do for baiting and restrictions. And yeah, there's a lot of bills here. I mean, and how
yeah.
come, where do they all come from all the time here, Riley? How come every year or every 2 years in North Dakota, why do we have to go and fight for private property rights almost every single time they get together?
Because they got 2 years to think about it all the time, and they got 2 years to amass funds and amass armies to come and just try to infringe upon private property rights. And so that's I think it would be a little bit different. It would be a little less severe. Yeah, it would be a little more work for the organizations involved, lobbyists and everything to do it every year. But honestly, I think in my lifetime and in your lifetime, we are going to see North Dakota go to a every year legislative session,
Yeah, yeah.
just for the fact that we voted in that initiated measure to have term limits, and we have a lack of people that want to serve in North Dakota, and for that reason alone, 2 years just doesn't cut it, because by the time somebody learns the ways, the ins and the outs and everything about the legislative session, well, they're half done with their term. And so
Exactly.
I think that was the most detrimental initiated measure ever to happen in our state, and unfortunately it's there.
No,
But
so to be clear, I'm okay with term limits, but
so am I.
two
Yeah.
two terms is just not enough. I mean, honestly.
Not here.
So
No.
so this is the scary part. So you and I both serve on different boards, unrelated to what we're discussing, uh, and one of them I'm on the state board for. And the scary part about what's happening with term limits, especially short term limits, is in the North Dakota side on the legislature is most of the decisions are now going to be made by lobbyists
Mm-hmm.
from here on out because lobbyists are the only ones that are going to keep these fresh. I mean, you just learned what's going on and your term's up.
Yeah.
I worry about that a little bit, Riley. I think it's going to be a lobbyist legislative is what it's going to actually turn into.
Yeah. Yeah, and that worry stands amongst a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people share that concern with you, Scott. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I mean, like with anything else, we as humans learn to adapt and we learn to get along. And I just suggest that if anybody has any kind of calling to serve on any kind of board of any kind of organization that you are passionate about, do it, because
Yeah.
get involved, because we do need more people involved, and especially young people. And I hope I'm not preaching to a bunch of deaf ears this morning, but like, people need to be involved and they need to be vocal about what they believe in, because if you are not, then nothing will change.
Yeah. And
So
be vocal, but be able and willing
well,
to
yeah,
have a conversation about it too.
you gotta be
Yeah.
you gotta learn to disagree with people and not have your feelings hurt, and learn to lose an argument or
Yeah.
a debate, or learn to compromise with somebody else that has a completely opposite opinion as you, and maybe come to a conclusion that can work for both parties.
All right.
Like,
Well,
I mean,
Riley, hold
we've
on.
just lost all of that. So
We're
I
up
mean,
against the end here. We'll continue on the YouTube side. Have yourself a great week and enjoy Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio Network. All right, stations. Thank you so much, Riley. I'm sorry I cut you off there.
no worries.
I had to,
Yeah,
I had to bust out right there and make sure we're ready to go.
Yep.
We should have did a whole hour of that. We could have went on forever on that one. But
Oh, I know.
we're still
Yeah.
on
Well,
YouTube though. We're still on the
we
tube.
can always continue it next week. I don't mind.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's so much going on in the legislative. I feel
Yeah.
bad, with. Well, hold on. Stay on where we're at here. I'm going to cut out a YouTube. YouTube, thank you guys for being on here today. I appreciate it. I'm going to talk to Riley off of YouTube here. Like lobbyists who lobby for what I believe in: coal, NRA, oil, and hunting. Yeah. And we need
Yep.
more of those. But here's the problem: is one of the biggest lobbying organizations in the state right now is the Game and Fish, and they got a lot of power in that place. So anyway, Riley, hold on. YouTube, thank you guys. We'll talk to you next week.